such an interesting movie, and you had to do a lot of work in it on your own. And I'm curious if you could talk a little bit about what that's like as a performer, where there aren't as many people in the moment to play off, but you're creating the story in silence by yourself, reacting to the things around you.
hmm it's definitely harder. I mean, it's a challenge, which is one of the reasons I wanted to do it because I haven't really done that before, had that sort of experience before. Um, yeah, it almost felt like going back to like when you're a child and you're imagining things in your room. You're by yourself and you're creating these worlds or whatever. And so there was something actually quite childlike about it. To me, it felt like that as an actor, because I've been acting since I was little. And so to sort of go back to that, sort of the basics of your imagination, and but it also really makes you rely on your director very much, and your store and the story. Um, and then, made me appreciate any time I had a scene with another human. I was so excited every time another actor showed up.
Yeah, no, I want to ask you a little bit about the childhood stuff in a second, but could you tell me sort of a little bit about Easy's Waltz? You're working with so many incredible people on that, or you did, and
Yeah.
I'm curious to know about that project because it seems so fun, and there are so many heavy hitters, yourself included, involved.
Oh, yeah. I was so excited. I mean, I had the best time working with Al Pacino. It was such a well, it was such a dream working with him on that. What an amazing character, and just like the best stories. He had just written his book, and so he was telling me so much about, what's in his book about his life, and he was just so open about his experiences as an actor, as a human. Um, and in the film, I very much look up to him, sort of in like a almost like a father figure type of way.
Mm.
And so my character is really just listens to him in a lot of the scenes that we're in together, and that's really what was going on on set as well. In between takes, I would just ask him a question, and then he would just share all of these really beautiful stories about his life. And God, he has so many.
That's
He's one of the greats, as you know.
truly, and yeah, it's such a special thing to have that. You know, it's the we're in an anniversary year for Brokeback Mountain, and I went and saw it, and I totally had forgotten. I hadn't seen it since it come out, and you come in there and you play such an important role, and it had like blanked on me all these years. I was like, oh my God, that's right, like Kate Mara's in this movie and
Yeah.
like in this critical role. Tell me about like hindsight on that and those that movie has a place in the pantheon and you and Heath in those scenes and working with him at that point in your life and career and I really wanted to ask you so I was excited to chat with you about it.
Yeah, such a special experience, very intimidating. I mean, I really was only there for I think like 2 weeks or something. I had barely any days on that film, but um oh, I ran into Ang Lee recently on an airplane, him and his wife Jane, and we stayed in touch over the years, but it's been a little while since I've seen him or talked to him, and he was so lovely with me. Then, and I really cherish him and cherish that experience. But I will say I was I think 19 years old at the time, and I was not prepared for how specific he was.
Wow.
Just very, very, very specific, like don't blink on this, whatever, all the little things like that, which now it wouldn't be as sort of surprising, I don't think, to me, but at the time it was. And I remember Heath just telling me, don't worry, he's like that. He's just like that. That's his way. And I just was convinced I was going to get fired on day one, but then I realized that was his way. And yet Aang is the most kind. He's so kind, and so it's interesting sort of to like figure that out.
Huh, that is fascinating.
But it was a
um
very, obviously very special experience.
yeah, you're in that last scene and that stuff is it's just so powerful.
Mm.
Speaking of people you worked with, something coming up, Bucking Faster with your sister and with Werner Herzog, who's another like amazing personality. So I'm curious what that was like, if you could tell me a little bit.
The most unique experience ever. Me and my sister adore him. He's one of a kind,
Truly.
which is obvious, but I mean, really, it was such a dream working with him and so surreal. Because again, he's just like unlike anyone else. But then also it was such a unique experience because we were working together for the first time, me and Rooney, and we're speaking in unison for most of the film. Again, first time doing something like that. But once it ended, we were so sad and like we can't we wanted to find something else to do together again. But yeah, no one is like Werner Herzog. No one ever will be. He's a legend for a very good reason.
Yes. You mentioned at the beginning the astronaut and the reason that it was a challenge, and the way you're talking about this project too, and Werner, it sounds like you wanted that challenge. Is that
Yeah.
what's motivating you now? You're really looking to do something different than what you've ever done every time out? Because you've done so many different kinds of things, you know?
Yeah, I really like to be challenged. We were both, I mean, I'll speak for myself, but I was very scary doing bucking faster. Before we started, it was a very scary thought to be speaking in unison with somebody the entire film. It was just like when it's just scary. When would you have ever done that before, and how are we going to? So that was kind of the draw, one of the many draws of doing that for me. I like to be scared. I feel like that is what sort of drives me in art, in my work. So yeah, for the astronaut again, totally very different, basically the opposite. I'm alone for most of it. Whereas in Bucking Faster, it's I'm never alone. I don't speak alone. I don't do anything alone. Yeah, so I like doing something very different than I did the last time. It's very exciting to me.
Having a professional relationship with a family
Just
member.
sorry, real quick. This has to be the last question. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Thank you. Having a professional relationship with a family member that works is an interesting thing. Like, did you guys have apprehension about that working or not? Like, that's kind of
I
like some
don't,
people can do it, some people can't, you know?
yeah, I don't know if Rooney had apprehension. I did not have apprehension. She's one of my favorite actors. So I was like, wow, I get to work with one of my favorite actors who happens to be my little sister. What a dream. And now we're already trying to find our next thing together because it was the greatest experience. I mean, it's hard to find time to be together because we both have families and we both have jobs. And so we were forced to be, we shared a trailer, we ate the same, we dressed the same, we spoke the same, we saw each other's kids every day. It was a dream.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for your time, and it was
Thanks,
really fun watching
George.
this one.